The working principle of the solenoid valve of the refrigeration system: first the power is turned on, and the solenoid valve is energized. After the solenoid valve is powered on, our armature moves up and the valve will open. The chiller flows down our slide through the valve. The battery power is turned off, the solenoid valve is powered off, and the valve is closed after the solenoid valve is powered off. The refrigerant is cut off. This is the working process and principle of the solenoid valve. Is it a solenoid valve with a diaphragm? Let's get to know the three pressures first. P1 is the pressure at the inlet below the diaphragm, P2 is the pressure above the diaphragm, and Pc is the pressure at the outlet below the diaphragm. First, the power is turned on, the solenoid valve is activated. The pilot valve is opened, and then the refrigerant flows through the pilot valve through the pilot port. At this time, P1 is greater than P2. The diaphragm moves upward, the main valve opens, and the refrigerant flows through the main valve through the valve core. In the closing process, first the power is turned off, and the pilot valve is closed. At this time, P1 is equal to Psi, P2 is greater than Psi, and the pressure P2 above the diaphragm increases. The diaphragm is closed, and the mirrored piston is the working principle of the solenoid valve. At this time, there is no power supply. Let's power on the solenoid valve. The first step is to power on the solenoid valve. The pilot valve opens first, and the refrigerant flows through the pilot valve. At this time, the pressure in front of the valve is greater than P2. The piston moves to the left, and the main valve opens. Next, refrigerant flows through the main valve. The solenoid valve that is energized is de-energized, the power is cut off, and the pilot valve is closed. At this time, the pressure P2 on the left side of the piston increases. The piston moves to the right, the main valve is closed, the solenoid valve with the axial piston is working, the power is turned on, the solenoid valve is energized, the pilot valve is opened first, and the refrigerant flows through the pilot valve first. At this time, P1 is greater than P2, the piston moves upward, the main valve opens, and the refrigerant flows through the main valve through the valve core. When the power supply is off, the electronic valve is powered off, and the pilot valve is closed first. At this time, the pressure P2 above the piston increases. The piston moves downward, and the main valve closes.